in West Denver. Sleep deprived and heavily caffeinated.
All right, let's do this then.
This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
I don't agree with that.
They don't always agree, but hey, at least they have coffee.
Coffee.
And each other.
I love you, man.
God help us.
I want to bless him. We need all the help we can get.
Now
Well,
here's
7 a.m.
Jeff
in the
Hunt
Mile High
and Bill
City
Thorpe.
on this
the Jeff
Tuesday,
and Bill Show on
September
News Talk
16th,
710
2025. Good
KNUS.
morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned into the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights, hottest takes from the right, left, and center. And with some breaking news for us, let's go to Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Good morning, Tuesday, 54 and mostly cloudy in Denver, expecting a high of 77 today. This portion of the news sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, Academy Award-winning director and actor Robert Redford is dead. He died this morning at his home in Utah at the age of 89.
I've never seen you stump for any individual candidate.
No.
Why is that?
I think I first learned that when I was just starting out. I was an actor who was suddenly being asked to appear with candidates that were political. I thought, wow, well, that's an honor. Somebody wants to have me stand up there with them?
Yeah.
No. They wanted me there to attract a crowd. I realized I was being used. So, okay, no more of this.
Did you?
All right, The Natural and The Sting, I would probably say, are my favorite Redford movies.
I mean, a career going back to the 1960s.
Yeah, man, he was in everything.
Yeah.
I just remember my mom talking, oh, Robert Redford, he's so handsome.
Oh, yeah, he was the heartthrob. Yeah,
he was. Absolutely.
Yep.
And then when
he
he was kind of the Brad
guys.
Pitt of his time, and so
Yes.
when they combined him in Spy Game, I was like, oh, this is intentional. You got like the multi-generational with the, heartthrobs.
Now, what did he direct? I don't even know.
That's a good question.
There's a series of things that are listed online from, and this is a combination. Let's see, director. He directed Ordinary People, Malaga Beanfield War. I didn't know he directed that one. That's a pretty dang good movie. I'm sorry, better
Is
book.
it?
Book is great. Yeah. Movie's okay. Yeah. River Runs Through It, director there, director of Quiz Show. And again, River Runs Through It's wonderful. Horse Whisperer, he's the director. Legend of Bagger Vance. Forgot about that one. There you go.
Oh, man,
yeah.
I like that one.
That is a good one. Lions for Lambs, The Conspirator, The Company You Keep, and then looks like Cathedrals of Culture was the last one. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
interesting.
Yeah.
Learn something
Those
new
ones-
every day.
I know. All of us did.
So Redford passes away at the age of 89.
An assessment could come in several different avenues, whether it's through algorithms, keywords that are being used that's coming up. We've got task force that are out there that are scrolling these websites.
James Albee, law enforcement expert, the FBI says they were alerted in July to a social media account tied to the 16-year-old who carried out last week's shooting at Evergreen High School. The teen died from a self-inflicted gunshot after injuring two students. He shared plans for a mass shooting and was radicalized by an extremist network. The 22-year-old assassin, Tyler Robinson, accused of murdering Charlie Kirk, will be in court later today. He's expected to be arraigned on state murder charges in Provo. If he's formally charged with aggravated murder, he could make the 22-year-old eligible for the death penalty. The Loveland family, who had their memorial for Charlie vandalized and burned in the middle of the night over the weekend, joined Jeff and Billy last hour. Sarah and Michael were concerned about the kids in the house and their neighbors.
Yeah, the fence was burned. Thankfully, the fire didn't spread. We had a rain earlier that day, and we had no idea. They bashed out the back window, so it's just scary. I understand some vandalism sometimes comes with that stuff, but when it comes to the fire, that's very scary. Our neighbors are are there. I have children in our house. We have grandchildren in the house. It's just unnecessary.
Man. Michael said Charlie just wanted to wake people up, and obviously this is a loving couple, great neighbors who care about people. The investigation continues, and there is someone in custody. By the way, what a powerful story. Michael said a little boy rode up on his bike and said, "I saw what happened," and handed Michael $5. Wow. Amen. What a story. Great job, Adam, getting that scheduled, by the way. FBI Director Kash Patel will be questioned by lawmakers today and tomorrow as his leadership of the agency is reportedly under fire over the Kirk investigation. There are still a lot of holes in the investigation, and plenty of people want to know if the assassin was working alone.
I don't know. I mean, I can tell you he didn't work alone on the internet because it seems that he became radicalized on the internet. That's just by watching same things that you're watching and hearing. It looks like he became radicalized over the internet. And it seems like he has wonderful parents, brought in a wonderful neighborhood, smart guy, great boards, great marks, great student. And then something happened to him over a fairly short period of time. It looks like he was radicalized over the internet, and it's radicalized on the left. He's a left. I have a lot of problems with the left, and they get protected, and they shouldn't be protected. But as you understand, I think very well from the tone of your question. Thank you very much.
Denver Mayor Johnston is out with his budget for next year as the city faces a $200 million gap for next year. Is the budget crisis spurred by increased spending on illegals and the homeless? Yes, probably. Yes, absolutely. The total budget price tag is $1.66 billion, down a little more than 5.5%. Johnston also has pointed to sagging sales tax revenue as a major driver, that's what he says, of the budget problems, and is telling Denverites, hey, go spend money within the city so it can grow economically out of the problem. Great. Great advice. DJT will be deploying the National Guard into Memphis. He said it'll be exactly like the recent operation in D.C., adding the Guard will be joined by agents from the FBI and other federal officers. Finally, Don Lemon projecting again, talking about Kirk supporters.
So obvious about it. And I think this is so disgusting is that you don't really care. You don't really care about Charlie Kirk. What you care is that this is a moment that you can use for clicks, to boost your podcast or your streaming show or your radio show or your television show or your news show or
your Don Lemon show. So funny. It seems like that's exactly what you're doing, dude.
Your MAGA bona fides with the MAGA group or your political stripes, that you can improve it, or you can have a moment where you're crying in front of the cameras. You gather all the reporters at the Capitol and you go, and it's your fault, and it's your fault, and it's the left, and whatever.
He's a genius. Buccaneers beat the Texans 20-19 last night on Monday Night Football. And
mentioning the future gold jacket, and he talks about Mac almost with awe. Herbert launches downfield. It's Johnson in stride. Touchdown, Chargers.
The Chargers take care of the Raiders 20-9. Monday Night Football. Justin Herbert, a big night. And the Dolphins and the Bills coming up on Thursday night. So you have tonight and tomorrow without football. And then back at it.
We'll get through. I'm sure there's some soccer games you can watch somewhere.
There are matches, by the way. Come on.
I'm opening a can of worms. I apologize to our listeners. Bill's about to give you 15 games that you can watch tonight and why they're important and who the player is.
No, the most important one is Thursday.
No.
That's
is
the one
Thursday?
Oh, yeah.
Who is
Thursday.
it, Billy?
Newcastle opens up in the Champions League against Barcelona.
Oh,
it is so scary. This is so scary. Yes, this is frightening. This is really frightening. That's the frightening one.
Who's going to win?
Barcelona. Barcelona's going to win. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Barcelona will win that one. Yeah. It's scary, though. But the nice part is we got a shot. They're coming into our place, St. James Park, and that's a scary place to play anywhere because it's a unique stadium. And the fans are unhinged. The Newcastle fans are like as if they took Raiders fans, Cowboys fans, and Philadelphia fans to the island of Dr. Moreau and put them all together into some sort of mutant bear. That's what Newcastle fans are like. They're completely and totally unhinged. Yeah, you think Raiders fans are crazy? They got nothing, nothing on the Geordies. You got nothing on them. So
when you hear Newcastle, you think soccer. When I hear Newcastle, I think Wyoming.
I actually think of beer.
You think beer?
The beer sponsored the team for a while. I have a Newcastle United Magpies shirt that has the Newcastle Brown Ale logo on the front. Yes. So, yeah.
Do I
think
dare
today,
try to watch that thing on Thursday? I may try to watch that and give my analysis.
I mean, today we're kicking off. It's the German team. Juventus is facing off with Borussia Dortmund, and that'll be a better game. Because,
one of my favorite Simpsons episodes is when they're describing how the Americans call and provide commentary on soccer versus the Hispanics. Hispanics. And I'll just do a brief. I probably shouldn't do this. 7 a.m, but and they're like, and the man stands there with the ball, and he looks, and he looks, and he looks, and he passes the ball, and then they cut over to the Hispanic commentators, and he's like, the man stands there with the ball, and he holds it, and he holds it, and he holds it, and then he passes it. Brilliant move! And it's just like the difference between. And if I knew Spanish, I would have done that in Spanish, but I can't.
Yeah,
so.
It's kind of like life.
But it's funny. That distinction absolutely exists.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because the Americans don't understand it, so that's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. That's every day. Believe me, living with someone who has family from the Dominican Republic, I promise you, it's like that every day.
Oh, I'm sure. I am sure.
Have you seen those TikToks about the empanadas?
No, I haven't.
So, are you married? Are you married to somebody from the Dominican Republic, Blake?
Yep.
Okay, so
yes, I am.
These videos are hilarious, and they're total jokes. But there's a guy. He'll sit in the closet and he's eating empanadas, and he's like, "Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. It's not worth it. The empanadas, they're so good. They're so good. But the woman that comes with the empanadas, it's so dangerous. Don't fall for it." And then the door opens and you hear like all the Spanish like yelling at him and stuff like that. And it's a total joke video, but it's just the idea that the Hispanic women, they're spicy.
Oh man, it's so true. Oh, that's funny.
Got a lot of flavor.
If I would have known that they party till the sun comes up. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what age you are. One of my wife's uncles, I swear, he's 90. He's in his 90s, and he'll stay up till 6:30 in the morning on a Christmas party, and he'll look like he did when he came in at 7:00 when the party started. So, I love it. All right. 53 in Brighton, 52 in Sheridan, 54 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continues. They continue. Blake Olson, News Talk, 710 KNUS.
Your 710 5-day forecast will have partly cloudy skies into early Tuesday, morning temps mid-50s. Highs upper 70s Tuesday afternoon, morning sunshine, then scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms continuing Tuesday night. Cloudy, lows low 50s. Wednesday and Thursday, rain showers and scattered thunder likely. Highs upper 60s with a few low 70s and lows upper 40s, low 50s. Weather brought to you by L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. For quick, trustworthy, and dependable service, call 720-851-1691 or visit them online at bestdenverhvac.com. Meteorologist Don Watzel in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Bill, are you ready to get TikTok back? Are you a TikTok guy?
I do have an account, and I would look at it every once in a while, but no, I don't. I'm not doing those silly dances or nothing. But yeah, we get TikTok. We get the tickety talks.
It was a really fun platform, and I took the security concerns seriously.
Yes.
And it's been so long, I had to remind myself what the security concerns were, because this thing came on the scene. It was a lot of fun, and conservatives would kind of debate this. Charlie embraced TikTok, saw it as important, and I think he was right to do so. But you had to be careful about what kind of device you put your TikTok app on, because there were some concerns around security. Here were the concerns about TikTok. One was data collection and access. TikTok collects a lot of user data, not only what people post, but also metadata, device information, location, app usage, etc. But the concerns that even the content that isn't shared, TikTok may access many sensors or data sources on the device. So your microphones, your camera, possibly more. ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, which is based in China, and there are laws in China, like the National Intelligence Law of 2017, that can require companies to assist with intelligence gathering when requested. This leads to concerns that the Chinese authorities could force or pressure ByteDance to hand over data or gain access. European authorities have raised concerns about data transfers to China recently. The EU fined TikTok £530 million for violating EU privacy rules because data was or could be accessed by staff in China. There was concern about influence operations, algorithmic manipulation, and information control, because TikTok's recommendation algorithm has great power over what users can see. They worry it could be manipulated to push certain political views, suppress others, and promote propaganda and disinformation. There are also legal and regulatory transparency gaps. There were concerns about youth safety, inappropriate content, and consent issues, getting to them. Security of the platform itself, hidden APIs that weren't well documented or secured could allow for third-party or malicious actors to access resources. And then regulatory and geopolitical risks. Because of the connection to China, many governments consider TikTok a foreign adversary-controlled app and have passed or are considering legislation to limit or ban its use, especially on government devices. So, yesterday, TikTok apparently has developed a deal framework with America, has been reached. China, Trump, Xi will finalize it on Friday. Is this good news, you think, Bill?
It's weird. This is weird to me because, first of all, TikTok was supposed to be this Chinese spy device that all of our kids have, and that it was turning all these kids into Chinese communists. And we were so scared. We were so scared about it, we passed a law. Because that's the best we could do. We passed a law that said they had to be sold. And then we delayed it. And delayed it. And delayed it. And delayed it. Because it was such a threat. Because we were so worried about TikTok changing our kids into little Chinese communists, we waited. And waited and waited and waited. I question that the threat was actually there. I think it was a whole lot more to do with politics and fear-mongering than the actual threat. The other part is we're worried about data security. We give away our data all the time on online, just for free. In fact, I would posit that if Jeff and I were going to offer a lucky person on the phone a pair of free Super Bowl tickets, you'd probably give us everything from your name, where you lived, your email address, to we probably could even get bank routing numbers from you, because in order to get something for free, we give away a lot of our free stuff. So the idea that they were collecting all the data, well, you got to show me that we're so concerned about our data in the first place. the problem that I see with this long term is, aren't we just doing the same thing that China's doing, that we complain about all the time? Aren't we starting to run our government and our businesses like China? And what I mean by that is, the U.S. government has just told a company from another country that you must sell to us. Interesting. Would we defend or support China coming in and saying, Elon Musk has to sell all of his Teslas to us? We need to own the factories. We need to own the brand. We need to own the product. It's no longer an American company. It's now a Chinese-owned subsidiary of Tesla. Would we do the same with Apple? How many other computer parts would we say, well, obviously, they need to be the owners of this. Obviously, they should take control of it. And remember, Donald Trump just recently bragged about the fact that the American government has now become part owner in 2 different technology companies in order to facilitate their sales of electronics to China. So we were worried about TikTok being a conduit to the government of China to share information, and the fact that, again, we talked about it, there's all these rules and regulations that the Chinese government does that American companies don't have to face because the government has control over these companies. Now, here in the land of the free, we have not only forced 2 different technology companies to give the U.S. government a share of the company, and now we forced another company to sell because we didn't like who owned them. Huh. That sounds a whole heck of a lot like China. So if we're really mad about it, are we? Or are we just mad that they created something we didn't control? Because the rest of the social media stuff, we're pretty deep in. But the one thing that was super popular in America that we didn't control was TikTok.
Bill, Donald Trump has delivered once again for the American people. And in our discussions about China, you have to remind all of us, I have to remind all of us, about the problems we have with China. They're killing our people with fentanyl. They've tried to destroy our crops. They try to hack just about everything that we do. They are an enemy of the United States. And yes, they created an app that was very popular, and all of our kids put it on their phones. And so we had to do something about it. Now, this was a law signed in to existence, a bill signed into law by Joe Biden. And so we had to figure out this issue. The Chinese government is an existential threat to the United States. They have the power, they have the weapons, they're trying to kill our residents with drug overdoses. They hack things, they trying to engage in agricultural warfare. We have all of these examples of China being a problem. Donald Trump is able to negotiate a framework which will protect United States citizens from an adversary and is going to allow this app, which is very popular among young people and a tool for a lot of small businesses as well, to be able to work. I think it's great. It's Donald Trump delivering on what he said he was going to do. Join the conversation. Give us a call, 303-696-1971, or text us on the Dan Capitalist Law text line at 720-819-5115, 720-819-5115. What did you think of the threat of TikTok? Do you think it was overblown? Do you think that this was maybe Facebook and Instagram and X just trying to keep a competitor out, and so they got the government to try to ban it? Or do you see the Chinese government as a very serious threat to the United States? We see it in a lot of other aspects of our life, and the fact that they created an app that gave them access to our homes, to our kids, allowed for algorithmic manipulation and data privacy concerns, and it was something to be dealt with. We were right to confront it, and it looks like Donald Trump has gotten a framework together that's going to allow this app to exist, but protect the privacy and the security of the American people. Would love to hear from you. Give us a call, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Capitalist Law text line at 720-819-5115. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. CNBC reporting that the U.S. and China have reached a framework deal for social media platform TikTok. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said Monday it's between two private parties, but the commercial terms have been agreed upon. Both President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping will speak on Friday to discuss the terms. Trump also said on Truth Social post Monday that a deal was reached on a certain company that young people in our country very much wanted to save. The Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, indicated the framework could pivot the platform to U.S.-controlled ownership. TikTok did not immediately respond to a request for comment from CNBC. So the details are being worked out here, but when you look at all the problems we've had with China, issues like theft of trade secrets, the state-sponsored economic predation that's taken place on our agricultural infrastructure, for example, the drugs, the fentanyl that's been coming here, the hacking.
Well, on the farmland,
why would you be like, oh, China, just go ahead?
Here's the thing,
have an app that can access our kids.
We sold them the farmland, though. I mean, when they're buying farms here, we sold that to them.
It's more than just farmland. They're actually engaging in agricultural warfare. You remember it was like the molds that they were trying to get into the wheat?
I saw that, but I didn't see anything larger as far as a plan, etc. And again, we're not certain.
But you wouldn't say China's an ally. So why? I think a lot of people would recognize that the Chinese government is the single largest geopolitical threat we face. Why would you allow a company that China could access data very easily? I mean, all those companies in China have to bow down to the Chinese government. So why would you allow kids in America to be able to download that? I think it was right to step in, and Donald Trump seems to have negotiated a framework that works.
How many American companies are doing business or set up shop in China so far? And again, I don't know the number, and all I'm saying is we don't seem to give a damn about that.
You don't think we do? I guarantee you the FBI looks into all this stuff.
But hang on a sec. You just said, the company, the government demands that stuff, yet we're still doing business there. And so our solution is to act exactly like them and take one of their companies. The idea of, so China's doing this to us, they're an adversarial nation. Yes, it's something that we need to have our eyes open to, that when we're dealing with them. But our solution is to take one of their companies. That's the part that I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around. When we say that we are this company of capitalism and markets and free speech, we are supposed to behave differently than the communist dictators that are running China. Yet in this instance, we are behaving exactly the same. And not only that, this administration has forced two technology companies to give them profits of things they sell in China. That's real close to what China's doing.
What's the alternative? The alternative, you have three options here. One is we just let TikTok do what it wants and just hope that it works out. Two, you step in and you ban it entirely. This is a tech company that is housed in an enemy state that has real security concerns, and we're just not going to allow it. It is a national security issue. Or third, you negotiate a framework by which the United States can control the security of this app to protect our interests while also allowing young people who really like this app to be able to use it. It seems like Trump delivered. Because what's the alternative? Would you rather TikTok just run amok or ban it entirely?
Here's the thing. That's a false dilemma. You've created three choices when those aren't constrained by the only choices available.
I would love to hear
those two
alternative ones.
Yeah.
Please.
Create your own. Isn't that the solution?
But wouldn't that be a ban?
Hang on. No. Isn't that the idea here in America that if McDonald's is in the market, I have the ability to go in and challenge them? That's what Burger King did. That's what Wendy's did. Chick-fil-A challenged KFC. In the country in which we encourage the idea of competition and the freedom of ideas, the one thing you didn't outline is maybe we should get a new one. And I'm not trying to make fun of you there. I'm just saying that as Americans,
that's the first alternative. You would just allow it. You would just allow it and create an alternative.
No, my question is, why can't we? Why can't we? Why is this one time we're like, oh my God, the country in which we pride ourselves on competition being the way that the best product rises to the top?
McDonald's is not trying to sabotage the country, Bill, the way the Chinese are.
And we can't possibly build anything better. We just throw up our hands. Oh my God,
so Bill,
they're so much better at this than
you
we
said
are.
It was a false dilemma. You're telling us
it's a false dilemma.
That you would pick choice one. Just allow it to continue.
Here's the thing. I think that choice one is to create competition. Create competition. I am not against the idea of restricting it or even banning it to a certain extent. I'm not against that idea, but I'd have to have that conversation as far as why this one, why not, etc.
Sure.
However, what I'm looking at is we pride ourselves on being the marketplace of ideas in capitalism. Yet in this one case, we have said we can't possibly do anything better than they are, so we must take it.
I disagree with the idea that this is just one case. I've read stories after stories, reports after reports of the United States having to step in to protect national security from Chinese companies. And it's not just TikTok. It could be, for instance, the creation of Transformers. I've read reports of where the Chinese have put spy technology into Transformers that were built in China, sold to Americans, and they've had to go in and rip all that stuff out. So it's not just TikTok.
And forcing them to sell TikTok doesn't stop any of that. That's my point. Forcing them to sell TikTok
doesn't stop any of it.
Wait, all of this laundry list of things that you're mad about, the forced sale of TikTok.
I'm mad about that China's doing to sabotage our country?
Yes, I'm saying the laundry list of stuff that you've got there that you're mad about.
Right.
None of that outside of the ownership of TikTok changes with this deal. None of what you're upset about. So it doesn't provide a solution. The only thing it does is take a company and say the government now can take it over and force you to sell it.
Wait, hold on. You're saying because TikTok deal doesn't directly affect, for instance, manufacturing of Transformers and spy equipment that's put into that, you don't support it? No, they're two separate things. But it is
exactly.
the United States.
That's why the sale is dumb.
The United States is stepping in to protect the national security interest of its people, and China is an adversary, and it created an app that was wildly popular among the American people. So
what have we done about those Transformers?
You have three options.
What did we do about those Transformers?
We ripped open, and we held those companies that were involved accountable.
Good. That's what you do. You don't sit there and force them.
That's exactly what they're doing here, Bill.
No, it's
That's
not.
exactly
No, they're forcing.
What they're doing.
No, they didn't. They
yes,
didn't force.
They are.
No, they didn't force the companies to be sold. No, they didn't. They didn't at all. They didn't force those companies to be sold. They didn't take them over. They didn't pass a law about it. That's the issue, is that when we are backed in a corner, we can't possibly come up with any solution, so we must force you to sell it. We are doing exactly what we complain China doing all the time, except we're actually forcing them to take over the company rather than just saying, you got to share stuff with us. No, we did that with two other American companies. That's
Bill,
what Donald Trump
you don't have a solution here. You don't have
yes,
a solution.
I do.
The only solution to this, from your perspective, is allow it to continue to be a problem or ban it, but you won't give Trump any credit because he found a third way to be able to work with an adversary, protect our interests, and allow kids to continue to use an app that's very popular.
I'm not giving Trump any credit because he is forcing a company to be sold. That's crap. Why should the government ever be able to come in and tell you to force you?
Because it's owned by an adversary, and it's a direct national security threat to our nation.
What happens?
What would you do? Ban it?
Hang on. What happens if Trump decides that Facebook is owned by a political adversary that's a danger to a nation? Force that to be sold? And this is the thing this is what I'm coming back to.
This is
no, this is the idea.
Unreasonable.
No, it's not.
Hypothetical.
I'm not. I'm asking about if that's the decision-making process. I'm holding him to the decision-making process. And what I'm saying here is the one thing that we can't possibly do in America is create competition. We've given up. We've given up. The one thing we can't do is compete with TikToks. They've mastered it.
Bill, it's not a competition issue. It's a national security issue.
It's a competition issue.
1036 texting in. The app isn't the problem. It's the company that owns the data the app collects that is obligated to give that data to the CCP. Changing ownership
So does
literally
Tesla. So does
will
Apple.
solve the problem.
So does Tesla. So does Apple. So do a large portion of tech
and
companies
you think
in
our
America.
government is just allowing them with no oversight to sell that data?
It's the rule. It's the rule in China. And so that's the idea. And so, well, maybe the government should just come in and force Elon Musk to sell his car company. Maybe we should force Apple to sell to someone we're more happy with. And remember, Texter, the one solution you didn't have is the fact that in America, we don't build a better mousetrap. Yep.
It's a national security issue.
We don't want to build a better mousetrap.
McDonald's isn't trying to sabotage the United States.
Build a better. Oh, wait, hang on a second.
Goodness.
RFK Jr. says it is through health. He says it's sabotaging. In fact, all those high-processed foods are giving autism to
You're
kids.
conflating.
No.
You're conflating.
If it's a danger, no.
You used a bad example.
No.
You said McDonald's and Burger King, look, we have competition.
Yes,
and
competition.
I'm pointing out the flaw in the entire model
No.
is that the companies aren't trying to sabotage the United States the way the Chinese are. And then you're going and running off to RFK.
No, I'm not.
Come on.
No.
All right, we'll get to the phone lines. Give us a call, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line, 720-819-5115. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader News Talk 710 KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. TikTok deal framework has been reached with China. Trump and Xi will finalize it on Friday. Good news. Is this? Was this much ado about nothing? Oh, it's an app. The kids use it. Don't worry about it. Why is the United States even stepping in? This is un-American to force the sale of a company. Or was this an app created by an enemy of our nation that has lots of other examples of how they're trying to sabotage us? Pumping fentanyl into this country, killing Americans, going after the agricultural industries, text messages pointing out, going after the trucking industry. You can't trust the Chinese. Donald Trump was right to step in because the alternatives were either let this thing run amok, ban it entirely, or figure out a framework that allows us to move forward, protect our interests as a country, and kids still get to use the app. What do you think? Let's go to the phone lines. Mike, Denver. Good morning, Mike. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Hello. Am I on?
Yes, you are, Mike.
Yeah, TikTok, there's a lot of businesses that are built on top of TikTok, of thousands of businesses. If they go out, these businesses go out. Donald Trump sees that. That's just part of it. And Bill, China's not trustworthy. We all know that. Whose team are you on anyway?
Whose team are you on?
I'm on the USA team. What team are you on?
Why I'm on the USA team? Why can't the USA compete? Why can't we compete with China?
It's not that simple.
Yes,
with
it
TikTok.
is.
It's over. Wait
Yes,
a minute.
it is, Mike.
While this gets rebuilt, these businesses are built on TikTok are bankrupt. They have their business is gone instantly. It's not that simple.
Mike, hang on a sec.
Bill.
Mike,
It's not
Mike,
that
hang on a sec.
simple,
Mike, over the course of our lifetimes, we had businesses that found advertisers through the Yellow Pages. Doesn't exist anymore the same way.
Oranges.
Guess what? Guess what
Apples
else?
and
No, Mike. What I'm talking.
Apples and oranges, Bill.
Mike, you're not listening. Listen closely, okay? I'm walking you through the example of the business landscape changing as far as how you reach your customers. At one time, newspapers were the dominant advertiser and the way to reach your customers. Then it became radio, then television, and now digital. Businesses did manage to navigate through all of those changes. The idea that we take away this avenue for businesses to reach their customers and they go bankrupt, they're doing poor marketing. All the companies that went bankrupt because they lost their newspaper advertising and didn't transition into another form of marketing should have lost their businesses because they didn't adapt. We are adapting in radio as we speak. The idea that we have to keep TikTok or all these businesses go under, I disagree with. That means that we should have gone back and we should have propped up newspapers. People went under because of newspapers going out of business. We didn't do that. But here for some reason we can't possibly touch the tickety talks. And the question I've got for you is, America, why can't we compete? Why can't we compete, Mike?
We can, but that takes
No, we can't.
time.
We force them to sell. How much time do we have?
Because of national security issues,
Wait,
Bill.
hang on a sec. How many? TikTok has been around for how long? TikTok has been around for how long? And this rule about having to sell them has been here since Biden was the president, and he signed it. And we're 6 months into the Trump administration, and he's pushed it off several times. It doesn't seem to be that big of a deal.
Because he worked out a framework
Hang on a sec. Doesn't seem to be that big of a deal.
Bill,
and the one thing is we can't compete with them, right? Right, Michael? Can you accept it, Mike?
We can compete with anybody, Bill. You know that.
No, we
it's
can't.
Apples and oranges.
No, we can't. We just force TikTok to sell because we can't compete.
Let Mike have a word. Go ahead, Mike.
Let's just shut it down today, okay? And let's just compete and rebuild it, okay? Is that what you want to do, Bill?
I think we
Is
just
that
compete.
what you want to do, Bill?
Mike, we compete.
Shut it down today. Put all these people out of business today and rebuild it. Right, Bill? Is that what you want to do?
No, I want us to compete, Mike.
So you would allow this app created by a foreign adversary to continue to operate in this nation?
Yes. Yes. I don't see why that's a difficulty. We have all sorts of things that are done by other countries.
Because they
that
are
are in
the
this country.
single greatest geopolitical threat we face.
Yeah.
They're not trustworthy.
And it's been such an issue that we have just let this linger for how many years? No, it's not. No, it's not, Michael.
Well,
Silly.
your boy Joe Biden signed it into law that it was to be shut down.
Yeah, and that was stupid.
Your boy.
Hang on a sec. Again, not my boy. Okay.
Come on,
Mike,
man.
oh, come on, man. Listen, I've been unaffiliated for 25 years plus. I'm not part of either
You
party.
say
I
you
hate them
didn't vote
both.
for him?
I hate them both. I hate them both. He's not my boy. Okay? It's not
Who
a
is
matter of
your
who I
boy,
voted.
Bill?
No, it's not. It's not a matter of who I voted for. And guess what? I pilloried him for it then and said it was stupid. I was mad at all the lawmakers that did it then. I'm being consistent. I was mad then and said it was stupid.
Is a bad alternative. You know.
Okay.
What
Competition's
about
a bad
Intel?
alternative. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate
what
that.
about-
We
what
have given
about
up.
Intel?
Bill,
That's
help
what
me
it is.
understand.
We suck so badly here in America.
Bill,
we can't
help
possibly
me
compete.
understand that with
Do we
all
need
the
participation
challenges,
trophies now? That's what we need. We need participation
with all
trophies.
the challenges we're facing with China,
Participation trophies.
all the challenges. I mean, you got direct military. You were like right up against military confrontation regarding Taiwan. With all the problems we face, with the fentanyl coming in, with IP being constantly stolen from China with regards to our tech.
That we give to them. That we set up
What's the
factories
basis,
in their country.
What's the basis for allowing you or allowing China to have an app that accesses this much data? Like, what from China do you go, I'm okay allowing them to do this?
You know what should have happened? When TikTok first became TikTok, they should have banned it immediately before it became a monster and all these people built businesses on top of it and everything else. But no, these people were asleep at the wheel. It becomes a monster. Donald Trump is just trying to come up with the best alternative. That's it. He's a businessman,
Okay,
Bill,
good.
not a kid.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Michael, and I appreciate the phone call, and this is what we're going to outline there. Donald Trump's best solution is to take the company away. That's it. Yep. That's it.
But will you answer
his
my
best
question?
solution.
What
Good job
that
there.
China does gives you the trust that allows an app like this to be so popular in America?
I don't understand the question. So, I mean, the idea that
You
what makes me
said
trust
you're
them to
allowing
allow-
this. You said you're allowing this app to continue in America. In your framework, the policy solution here was to allow this app to continue to exist in America. And I'm asking
compete.
I'm asking you what from China gives you the trust to allow this app to continue in America. You look at China. What do you go and go? Because they do this, I'm willing to trust them.
Here's the thing. I don't, across the board, trust China. However, what I'm looking at is this, okay? We're looking at the idea that, okay, they have access to our kids' phones, okay? Versus having access to the technology of Apple and the technology of Tesla and the other companies that build stuff there. I think you're focused on the wrong problem. The fact that we have teenagers doing dances and they're going to see where the teenies go, and you're not worried about the fact at all about the technology they take from us because we set up factories there. That's the issue. And for
I
me,
didn't say that.
And for
When
me,
did
the
I say
chorus.
I wasn't concerned about that at all.
Yeah, because this is the thing we're banning. We're not talking about anything else, and this is the thing we're so concerned about that we passed a law about it. So we're so concerned about it, and this is the point. And this is the thing that I'm putting this.
We passed about China. I mean, why jump to that? I mean, we haven't said that at all. If there's other companies that are working with China that are providing security threats or creating security threats in America, they should absolutely be addressed. What's wild to me is that you're willing to acknowledge that China's an adversary. You're willing to acknowledge that they're a threat. You have a direct app that's probably used by more people than anything else China does with regards to our country. Our country steps up to try to protect its national security interests, and your best solution is compete with it?
I'm sorry, I thought we were America. Did I miss something? That we can't compete with anybody else out there?
National security interest.
What national security interest? How is your kids having TikTok on their phone a national security interest?
I laid it all out at the beginning of the show.
No, how? What? I didn't know. That
really?
was a bunch of
data collection issues?
Oh, no.
Potential data to be used by the foreign government? Influence operations? Algorithmic manipulation?
Okay, hang on a second.
Legal and regulatory transparency gaps? Youth safety and appropriate content? Security on the platform itself? Regulatory and geopolitical riscs?
All of those.
Europe just fined them, what? 530 million pounds because of data issues.
All of those we've got, but we have Google, an American company, being fined for data security issues all over the place. We have data security issues across the board.
But
saying
that it's
just China.
Because it's the kids that access it, that it's not
Show
that
me
big
where the
of a
national
security
security
issue.
is. So the fact that China knows when your kids go to Dairy Queen and when they go to school is a national security issue. I disagree. I just disagree.
All right. Join the conversation if you like. Give us a call, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. I think my framework that there were three options that exist was exactly right. One, in light of the fact that China is our greatest geopolitical threat, you could have banned the app entirely. You could just let the app go and be like, well, I guess we'll just deal with the security risk. Or you could try to find a framework by which businesses can operate on TikTok, kids can use it, and we still protect our national security interests. Donald Trump delivered that. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's talk leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.